feat.TomCampCoaching.
Yep.
The beautiful thing about these sessions as well is like I don't do a lot of research into each trader that I'm doing it with. I like you to tell me because, like I said, this isn't an interview. So I'm not coming here with a preset list of questions like I need to ask Tom about this and this. I would rather you come to me and you say to me, Nav, this is what I'm struggling with, or this is what I have struggled with, or this is the ceiling I keep hitting. How do I overcome this? And then that's the best way I can help you. So, why don't you tell me a little bit about your experience? How long have you been trading? What do you mainly trade? And what kind of challenges are you facing?
Well, I mean, loosely trading, and I say the frame loosely, right? Like, I've not been trading actively, but since really 2015 was my first real introduction to trading. Funnily enough, we all see we all see that advert, don't we? The get rich quick advert,
Mm.
and that's obviously what loops you in because whatever situation you're in, the algorithm knows what situation you're in. So
Yeah.
I saw an advert, and I remember the advert very, very well. It was an advert from a guy called Greg Secker, who does the Learn to Trade group. I never went on his program, but it was just his advert standing outside his mansion, and I was like, oh, I like the look of this. And he literally framed it by saying, yeah, what I do is press a couple of buttons every day, and I'm done by 9 a.m. Then I have my tennis lesson, and
Oh, I've
oh,
seen this advert.
yeah, exactly. So, and do you know what the thing is? I went through a lot of humbling from that moment up until really probably around the COVID time, which is when my first daughter was born.
Mm.
Through just learning and how to trade or trying to learn or going on different courses. And before pre-COVID, there weren't quote unquote courses like there are now, or even online mentors, because everyone really came online in that sort of after when everyone was at home. So prior to that, it was websites and things like that. And I just wanted to get into it. I couldn't afford to go on his program, even though I tried to. So I ended up finding another one, and yeah, I just lost a lot because it was you find yourself getting gravitated towards certain people. You end up spending money that you don't have to do something because they convince you it's the right thing for your future and all that kind of stuff. So
Mm.
I obviously did that, but and a lot of the time I joined a couple of these different groups. I joined a lot of really dodgy groups as well, where you would try and learn something. And so, for example, I was trying to learn a certain trend line strategy. I'm not saying trend lines don't work. I'm not even saying no strategy works, but this strategy in particular I just couldn't grasp. And the guy ended up coming to me saying, "Oh, like you can learn while you earn, and if you put £20,000 in of money I didn't have, by the way, so I had to find it." And then he said he would trade it, and he would show you these returns and say, "This is how it works." And obviously, you didn't do anything. So that was about a year or two into that whole sort of journey, and I was on this program. I stuck with it for about 6 months, and I lost a lot of money doing it. And again, it was money I didn't have. I had another business that was running in the background. I'm always someone that's tried to start businesses in anything I've ever done, and and I kind of had to borrow against those businesses to fund this operation, basically. And when I realized it was losing money, this is what happened. I literally went mental on this guy's WhatsApp chat at everyone, calling him a fraud, a scammer, all that, because obviously what was going on was pretty dodgy.
Yeah.
But I met someone. So there was a woman, an elderly woman. Her name was Sharon. I remember her really well. I'm still friends with her on Facebook. She reached out to me saying, "Oh, can we just have a chat? Because I've seen your messages." I thought, "Oh, okay." At the time, I was like, "Not really, no." But at the time, so I was like, "Yes, fine." I remember getting on a call with her, and she literally said to me, "So I've seen your messages to this guy. I've seen what's happened. The same thing happened to me. There's a couple of us that's happened to." And I was thinking, "Oh, what are we going to do about it?" And she said, "Well, there's nothing you can do. It's gone. It's done. You're not going to be able to do anything. You're never going to find the guy, whatever." But there is a group of people who I'm in connection with who have done this strategy, which is really, really good. It's not going to cost you anything to start. When you do, it's however much a month, but I really think you should do it. It's work really of you. So I ended up going to it. And it was something called I Am Academy, which was smart money concepts, which is where I got into the smart money concept side of things. Now, again, I opened my eyes to the way I like to trade and all of that. But then obviously I never kept on touch with them because you kind of realize again, they weren't really a trading education firm. They were a network marketing sort of branding thing. So there was a lot of different things going on there, which again, and I really enjoyed. I met a lot of people on there, but it just didn't allow me to kind of progress. And then obviously I met a certain person there who was heavily reliant on trading ICT concepts, and gravitated more towards the way he was trading, and then he ended up leaving, starting a group. So I followed him, and long story short, the point I'm trying to make is I am really thankful for that first advert I ever saw, which was never going to be the right program that he was kind of advertising or anything like that, but mainly because I couldn't obviously afford it or anything. But and every time, every journey, every hurdle I obviously went towards ended up with me really getting badly hurt, like
Mm.
scammed, losing money, useless education, whatever it was. None of the useless education comes from anything I've just mentioned, but there was out there a lot of stuff that just really didn't go the way. But if I didn't go on this particular program, which I lost a lot of money on, where this person said, you can learn what you earn and you can trade with this money. You should give it to me and I'll trade it and you can take 50% of profits, all that. If I hadn't met this one woman, Sharon, if I hadn't met her and she hadn't have introduced me to this this website, which was obviously the IM Academy at the time, and I hadn't have gone in there and met the certain person that was in there helping me with all these different things, I would never have gone and that would have never taken me to the journey, because everything I've done and the way I trade now, I don't trade in like one person's way. I don't trade like ICT, for example. I do a little bit of what he does and I compare it with something else someone else does. And then you end up molding yourself into trade how you want to trade yourself.
Mm.
Because what these course sellers and things like that don't understand is their model. It's not their model. It's just the system and the way they trade. But that could be very different to how someone else trades eventually, because you may have to trade a certain time of day. You may have to trade a different strategy, whatever it is that just resonates more with you. And I found what really clicked for me and massively was around the sort of 2019, 2020 mark, particularly when my oldest daughter, sorry, was born. Because that's when you think, I have to really kick in now. I have to really step up now, especially because COVID was going on. I just stripped everything back. I stripped everything back. And I thought, I'm just going to focus on the way I enter, the way I look at it, and it suddenly started to work. And I remember just not going back to my other job that I had after the COVID was kind of calming down, and saying that this is me full time now. And even when I look at the way I was trading and making money trading back then, I kind of cringe, because I think there's that I can't believe I was making money that way. And it was very aggressive. It was very small time frame stuff. And I think the older I get and the more I evolve in trading, I'm kind of sitting there realizing it's less is more.
Yeah.
And I'm trading on a slightly higher time frame now. I don't sit on that really small time frame. I don't believe it's consistent long term. My mindset, I mean, you can be the judge of this, but I think it's good right now, in the sense that I really I'm because the first 5 6 years of my own trading career, I ignored the mindset stuff.
Mm.
Every time I was on a call with
Most
someone and
people
they'd
do.
say, yeah, 100%. Every time I was on a call with someone and they would say, "Look, we're going to talk about mindset," I'd be like, "Oh, I'll switch off now. I
Yeah,
just want the
yeah.
strategy. I
This is the
just
one
want."
I can skip. And it's like,
Yeah,
that's the most important one.
exactly. And they think, "Oh, I'll skip it." And this is the thing. Like a lot of the time when I do my events and people are there, I do the mindset stuff first. So
Mm.
no, no, you watch this first, and then you can learn about the entries and all of that. And every time I've done lessons on like any programs I've ran before, I don't really name it entries, because people gravitate towards entries, and and that's always something I've tried to do. But yeah, the mindset, the psychological side, I always refer to it as like, if you've got a chair, like you're sitting on a chair now, if it's got four legs, it needs four legs to stay stabilized.
Mm.
If you take one of those four legs away, then the chair can't support
Oh
itself.
my God, I fucking love
So
that analogy. And
yeah,
then it tilts. So
exactly. So if you think about the four components of a chair, it can relate it to trading. One is the edge, the strategy. The other is the risk management. The other is the psychology, and the other is the persistence of
mm.
obviously carrying on. And if you put all those four together, they create a successful trading career. And if you take one of those four away, you don't have a successful career. And I always used to focus, and too many traders still just focus on the edge, the strategy, the good stuff, as it were.
Mhm.
They ignore the risk management, which obviously ties into the psychology and the emotion and things like that, to the point where they never get there. and they look at the strategy and they think this is easy. I can work this because a lot of people, because you probably know the same as me, trading itself, the actual strategy, the market mechanics behind it, the way we do it is not hard. It's
It's not
it's
hard.
essentially something that's going up and down. It can
Yeah.
only go up or down. It
Yeah.
can't go anywhere else other than up or down.
Yeah.
So your job is to sit there and think, I need to just make an educated guess on which way I think this is going to go today. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I've used good risk management, then I'll be all right. But when they take that one or two loss period, maybe three or four loss period, then suddenly they start to crap themselves a little bit. And then that's when they start over leveraging, becoming too emotional, which proves they're not ready to be at the stage they want to be in their own trading careers. So yeah, that's kind of like my journey has been a long one. It's not over for me. Like, I still I'm learning. I see myself as an apprentice in life. Like everything I do,
Hmm.
I'm always learning. I'm always trying to be better, and that's why like every program I've done from like the early days up to now, when I've entered the education space, it's just so much better every year. And you can see, even I've got people that have followed me for all this time I've been online, and they see the evolve that it's obviously been. And I like to think that's going to benefit people moving forward because they can see the growth with it. But at the same time, I sit there and think if I'm realistically 5, 6, 10 years in overall, I say a term loosely because it was loose at the start. I just think, where will I be in another 10 years, and it's another ten
Yeah.
years after that, and that's the way you always have to think. You're never going to be the finished article. Like you hear these things about when someone makes it, it's like, well, you're never going to make it because when
Hmm.
you make it on your terms, by the time you've made that particular point, your goal is probably going to be different by then anyway. So it's you're always chasing, and but you've got to be willing to chase, and that's one of the biggest things I've ever learned. And honestly, the whole thing unlocked for me when I realized the psychological side, the emotional side, because this game isn't there to save anyone. It's not looking at it for you personally, but you can't look at the markets personally either, and too many do.
That's so beautiful. Oh my gosh, you've said so much there that I want to respond to. So I'll start with what you just said in terms of the make it side of things. I don't know if you saw my latest reel, but I was like, how does it feel when you make it? And I said it in
Mm,
air quotes because it's like, if you're truly an ambitious person, that never comes. It never
yeah.
comes. When you hit that goal, more often than not, you actually feel nothing because the fun is in the journey of actually getting there because you're getting to that goal because it's who you are. So it's
Mm,
actually the enjoyment of the process that is the fun part of the process. Then when you
exactly.
get that goal, you'll be happy for maybe a day and then maybe longer, hopefully longer. But some people not even that. Some people it's way less. Like Alex Hormozy, who I fucking love, like he did this book launch and they broke a Guinness World Record. And I was watching it on YouTube, and one of the things he said, he did it. He was like, great, we did it. Well, that was a great 3 minutes. He was like, I've been working on that for 3 years. He was like, that was a
Yeah.
great 3 minutes to feel that we did it and now we move on. And I was just like, that's so spot on. Like with ambitious people, the goalpost is always moving, but that's why it's so important to find satisfaction in the journey. And
Mm,
it's also why so many like millionaires and billionaires they end up depressed because they think this goal is ahead of them, and once they reach this goal, they're going to be happy. And it's like, no, you have to live the journey as the person who wants those things because that is the experience of your life, not that thing that you achieve. So like with traders as well, you're always a student. So it's like with the hedge funds I work with, they're good. They've got their systems down, but they still are learning. I still go in, I still go and help them elevate because it is a never ending learning process. A boxer has a coach, a football player has a coach, an actor has a singer has a coach. Why wouldn't a trader have a coach? It's
mm,
high performance sport. So you don't need the person, like a boxer doesn't need the coach to say this is how you punch. But when the boxer is down and out and about to lose the fight, they need that coach in the corner to get them the fuck back up and get their mindset right so they can go and attack and win. So
mm,
that's the education side of things isn't so much the strategy at this point for you. It's now just how do I progress my mindset further? I'm already good at what I do, but I want to be the best, right? I want to
mm.
continuously learn because you're an ambitious person. So that's what we're essentially doing here today. And I
Yeah.
thought what you said was so powerful because it's actually going to be such a crazy transition for the people who watch Q session into yours because it's literally how I just ended that conversation with you. This is the universe. That's why when you started, I was smiling because I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
This is how the universe works. It's energy. So me and him were just talking about how a lot of people, they try to do it themselves and they're not willing to take that investment into themselves. Like they're not willing to, even like I could put market mindset on a gold platter and say to people, here's your unlock, but people still won't invest in it, which is a lack energy, because they'll say, I'm going to go and do it on my own. And then they're going to stay in a lack mindset because they're not willing to take that step. But they most of the time don't take that step because they don't truly believe that it's going to work. They feel like, what if it goes wrong? But what they miss as well is sometimes it's not that thing. Sometimes that thing leads you to the right thing. You have to go through the wrong thing so you can get through to the right thing. And it's exactly what you went through. So I was like, what the fuck? Just a real life example right in
Yeah.
front of what I just spoke to Q about. But you had to go through that. And from that as well, you got two modes of motivation. So when it comes to discipline, it's not that people lack discipline, it's that they lack the motivation to be disciplined. They don't have the thing that is a strong enough force and a strong enough desire to make them not click the mouse. So, a
Mm.
driving force of that for you must have been the pain. Like, you've invested so much in it, it has to work. Like, I can't fuck this up now because I've invested in it. So, I need to see some sort of reward from it. So, that would have helped you become more disciplined. And then you have your daughter, which is like, well, now I have another mouth to feed, so I need to make sure that I'm not just jumping into this trade. So you've
Mm.
had that form of the motivation available to you, so you could be disciplined. So I think that's fantastic. And if we need to continue to work on implementing more discipline, we'll just find more places for more motivation to kind of take over the control switch when your hand might hover over the mouse or whatever it might be. We'll go into what your challenges are. You might not have an issue with
Yeah.
discipline.
No, everyone has challenges.
Everyone does have
Everyone has challenges.
everyone has challenges. So everyone goes through challenges, but it's like how fast can you get back to
Mm.
equilibrium? Every single human goes through challenges, and it's like even myself, I'm a trader, I'm a mindset coach, but because you love it, you want to keep learning. So even with me, it's like I'm continuously learning from my experiences. I'm continuously trying to be the best I can be. So for traders, it's that comes in two parts because your portfolio balance won't always reflect your hard work. And most of the time, it doesn't until way further down the line. So, your first result is not the final result a lot of the
Mm.
times. And now you're actually being able to see that that investment that you put in, where the person was scammy person or scam artist, it wasn't about that being the investment. It was that you stepped into the energy of abundance. You showed you were willing to do whatever it takes. You didn't have the money, but you are willing to do what it takes to get you to where you want to be. That didn't
Mm.
work out, led you to Sharon. Sharon helped you get to the right place, like learn the strategies, SMC, ICT, whatever it might be. But now you're in this position, which is way further down the line. So the investment that you were paying for back then, like the universe doesn't see it as you're paying for this investment with this person. The universe sees it as you invested in this. I know you want it bad enough. I know you're ready to step into that identity. Let me give you the opportunity so you can actually become that person. And here you are.
Mm.
So well
Yeah.
done for that. Like that's an amazing thing. So
Absolutely.
how many kids do you have now? Is it
I've got two.
two
Yeah,
daughters?
I've got two girls. I'm never going to be a dad to boys. That's never no point trying for a third. It's just not going to happen. I wanted a boy both
How do
times, and
you
I can't have a
know?
girl. I love my girls, but yeah, you just well, we're not going to go. We're not going to do them anymore. But yeah, I've got two beautiful little girls, and they're the reason I do everything I do. It's they're the motivation I
Mm-hmm.
find. If I'm not because well, you're never going to be. I don't think motivation's even a thing all the time, is it? You have a
Mm.
spur of the moment motivation for something like there's going to be a lot of motivated people around about now to Christmas because they're going to decide to reset themselves, aren't they, for
Yep.
January, and then that will run out. But the kids, that really gives me the meaning or the purpose to just go and do what I do, and because there are days where it's just a slog, like, and it's not just in trading, in other business, whatever it is, it's hard work. But you see them in the end of the day, it kind of just makes everything worth it again, even if they're
Aww.
being difficult. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's so nice. Yeah, it's spot on as well. Like motivation can't be the driving factor behind whether you want to show up or not, because motivation is fleeting. It comes up and down. But that motivation with your daughters, it's
Mm.
not just motivation, that's also part of your identity because you're a dad. So
Yeah.
the identity is dad. So it's who you are to them.
Mm.
Whereas like motivation gets you momentum. Momentum keeps you going, but that's why you have to show up every day for momentum. So if we're talking going to the gym, right? This is market mindset gym. So if we're talking about going to the gym, no one likes to go to the gym when they haven't been going to the gym. Like it's the hardest thing to get someone who's not into fitness to go to the gym. They're like, "Oh, I don't want to do it. I'll start on Monday. I'll start on Monday. This is my
Yeah.
last weekend. I'll start." And then Monday comes and then they come up with all the excuses. But if they can get into the gym to begin, and they can just make the minimum commitment to themselves, which is like, I'm going to go once or twice a week, not 5 times a week, not 7 days a week, once or twice a week, minimum commitment, they will quickly find that their body craves it because now they've created a habit loop, right? So it's like
Yeah.
what you just said, like motivation starts it, momentum keeps it going because now you're creating that habit loop in your brain. So then your brain actually craves it. Your brain feels
Mm.
unsafe when you're not in that routine. So it's like, hey, we need to go gym. And you're like, fuck yeah, I want to
Yeah.
go gym. So,
But that is yeah, I mean, like that is a really good point you made there because I cannot function if I don't go to the gym for a couple of days. When I go on, even if I'm on holiday, I have to find a gym out there. And I mean, I've got multiple issues when it comes to fitness, but one of them is that I enjoy going to the gym lifting weights. I
yeah.
hate cardio, so I never do cardio. But I'm not motivated, but I should do cardio because I know it's good for me. But in terms of obviously, and this is obviously, and the same can relate back to trading, but in terms of like that whole thing with me, it's like the biggest thing I struggle with is the most important thing when it comes to a healthy body, and that's my diet. I've so much of a sweet tooth to the point where I know that this isn't going to see any progress in my actual health. And I'm overall healthy, by the way, but it's
Hmm.
instead of 80-20, it's 60-40
Hmm.
sort of thing. Um, but one of the things I enjoy doing, I enjoy doing every morning is going to the gym. And I personally really enjoy trading. And I think if someone is starting trading, you do have to kind of enjoy it as well. If you don't enjoy
Totally.
it, it's going to be very hard, like you say, to keep that motivation, isn't it?
Hmm.
It's a tough old slog if you don't enjoy it, basically.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If you don't enjoy it, there's no point in trading. If you're trading for the money, you aren't going to be successful because
Yeah.
it's going to feel like getting punched in the face sometimes for a whole month. And you have to
Yeah.
love it enough that you're like, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to go again. It can't
Yeah.
be something that's fleeting. So it's like with us, I know that
Mm.
we love it. Like we've gone
Because we're the
through,
weirdos, aren't we?
we're the
That are into
weirdos. Like,
it. But, yeah, absolutely.
we go through the pain and we get back up. But I think that's so important because it does affect different areas of your life. So I'm so glad you told me about the diet thing because I'm going to use that against you later, just so you know.
Good. I need it, definitely.
Um,
Especially with Christmas coming up. I'm in trouble.
no, no, no. This is the time, where people. My diet is so good. Come December, something about, well, I know what, it's not something about December. It's there's Christmas markets all over the place. There's
Yeah.
cheese, chocolate, all London smells phenomenal during Christmas.
Mm.
It's very
Oh, I
difficult.
know. I
Just
don't go if I'm not going to go to London for that reason. If I see it, it's gone.
come on down.
I will.
I'll message you. I'll be like, Tom, come to South Bank Market.
Yeah, we're in trouble. If you come out of me in London, we're eating a lot that day. That's what I can promise you.
Perfect. I'm going for steak later, so perfect.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, my birthday's November 20th. So after my birthday, it all kind of goes downhill. My diet
Mm.
just, and then January, I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
But look, life is for enjoying as well. It's for experiencing. So don't be too hard on yourself about your diet. Like the
Mm.
way I would view diet is if performance is important to you, use the food as fuel because me, for example, I start my morning every single day with a banana with peanut butter on it and a coffee. Like it was fruit and nuts and coffee. Like that was just the easiest thing when I was traveling. It's the easiest thing for me to get my hands on and I start my day. It gives me energy. Get to the gym gives me energy. But I noticed whenever I was getting to lunch, I was eating something with like rice and chicken and then I would crash. I was like, what the fuck? What's going on here? Like I'm still eating well and I'm crashing. And I realized like my carb source was just too high because it's sugar. Carbs spike your sugar, which makes you crash,
Mhm.
which was then affecting my performance, my brain. And that's kind of when I took a step back and I was like, this isn't about my diet, it's about how can I make my brain perform at its best capability. So now instead, I'll have a high protein lunch or a high protein breakfast. So maybe just eggs or something. So by simply making that switch and simply framing it differently for myself, which is I'm having this because I'm in work mode. So it's something that's adding to me right now for my fuel source for work. It just helped me make that switch because I love carbs, like fucking love them. So
Who
at
wouldn't?
nighttime is when I get my like sweet tooth. My sweet tooth comes out and it's before bed. So I'm like, okay. But it's something you can use to your advantage. So if there's something hard in your life, I'll explain why and I'll explain how you do it. But if
Mm.
there's something hard in your life, it trains a part of your brain called the anterior midcingulate cortex. And because of that, that trains your tenacity and your willpower. So when you do things that are hard outside of the charts, that is directly going to be reflected again on your performance on the chart. So I'll actively challenge myself. Like, I hate reading. I hate sitting down with a book. I can't concentrate. It's a little bit of ADHD in me. So when I sit down and try and read a book, I'm already gone. Like I'm through the first paragraph and I'm congratulating myself that I read the first paragraph, and then I get distracted because I'm busy congratulating myself that I read the first paragraph. And I'm like, that's really. And then I start thinking about all the other times that I read a paragraph, and it's like I'm gone, I'm
Mm.
gone. So that's really hard for me to do. But now I've started challenging myself to say, okay, just read 3 pages, just read 1 page.
Mm.
Something that this guy called Sharon said, who's amazing, fantastic businessman. He said, it's okay to suck. It's not okay to not show up. So that
Yeah.
has lived in me, which is okay, I'm going to show up even if I suck. So I'm going to
Yeah.
do the bare minimum. So that helps. Like, so with your diet, for example, don't worry about like cutting everything out. Don't worry about cutting out all the sweet stuff. You're human, live your life, right? But
Mm.
make it so that it's part of your life and it's not something that comes at unexpected times, right? Because again, it's funny, we're talking about diets and stuff, but this is what I mean. Like a lot of my sessions, we're not actually talking about things directly in the charts. There's things outside of trading that affect you on the charts. So on the charts, people react instead of respond because something happens in an uncertain way. They get a thought about something, they react to it. So when it comes to maintaining a healthy diet, instead of reacting to the thought that comes up randomly and is like, oh, I'm craving a cake, I'm craving an ice cream, I'm craving a sweet treat, craving something, instead of then reacting to that, you already put in your marker. So the same way like you could put in breaks for your day, you put in the day that you're going to have your cheat meals or the hour that you're allowed to have your cheat meal. So it's no longer a um it doesn't become such a thing of importance and something to look forward to. It just becomes part of your lifestyle. And you'll notice you eat less. So you'll maintain a good diet. And then when that thought comes up, say your time to eat a piece of cake is like at 8 p.m., but it's 6 p.m. And you are like, fuck, I really want the cake right now. But then you know mentally, at 8 p.m. I get to have it. It kind of pauses that craving because you're like, it's 2 hours away, I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
And then when it comes time to have that, you enjoy it so much more. You're not passively eating it, you're enjoying it with intention. You're
Mm.
getting the dopamine from it differently. As
Mm.
opposed to I'm just having this because my brain said I want it, I'm having it, and now I need the next thing, and now I need this one, and because you end up pausing and enjoying it, you'll notice that you eat less because it
Oh
becomes
yeah.
like I'm
Yeah. When
intentionally having it.
I'm yeah when I am in good routine, which is it does happen. I do get a good routine flowing. When I do get it, my rule really with the way I eat is protein goal first. So if I'm 200 grams of protein before I eat that sweet treat, whatever it is I want, has to be 200 grams of protein.
Nice.
But by the time I've had that protein, I'm actually quite full.
Yeah.
So I don't eat as much as I think I would anyway, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. So like, that's just yeah, as a connection, that's one of the things you know people can kind of do, can't they? So
Yeah, challenge yourself to do the hard thing, even at the smallest level. Just begin with the smallest level, but make sure it's hard. So this is why people take ice baths. No one wakes up in the morning and is like, I fucking can't wait to jump in this ice bath, no matter how long they're doing it,
yeah,
right? But people do it because it trains that part of your brain that goes, I don't want to do this thing, but I'm gonna take a different action anyway, and that directly translates to the charts because your brain
yeah,
is like, take the trade, do this thing, and you're like, I hear you, but nah. I don't
Mm,
need to do that. You
yeah.
separate yourself from your thoughts and your actions. You show your brain, like, I don't have to act on my thoughts.
Mm.
So that's awesome. So I've got a good idea of your history. What would you say is your biggest trading challenge at the moment?
Do you know what? It's nothing to do with it's nothing to do with trading, but it is to do with trading, if that makes sense. Like I am very um I'm at that stage where I've got a trade set right now.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see where it is or what it's doing. I don't even know if it's in drawdown, if it's winning or what, whether it even gets triggered. And I'm quite happy to just let that go and come tomorrow because I've set my risk. I've set my where I want it to be of a 1 to 2 risk reward, and I'm perfectly capable of just letting it play because like the way I view trading, for example, and I will tell you the challenge because it will relate back.
No, it's fine.
But the way I look at trading is very much like a business because, and in any business, you'll know as well, you have to make an investment in your business before you see a return.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that be, let's say you owned a gym and you had to invest in all the gym equipment before you started getting paid members in, you'd need to spend £500,000 on renovating it. If you wanted to open up a restaurant, you'd have to spend money before a single customer walks in, banking on the fact that your restaurant is good. In trading terms, I'm investing, I'm buying a trade. I'm buying something for, let's
Mm-hmm.
say I'm risking £1,000. I'm buying that for 1,000. So I'm not expecting, oh, that's a purchase.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a buy position or a sell position, I'm buying it. And I know that the hope is that I'm going to get a return for it, but worst case I don't. Well, what business doesn't incur business loss? And if your business is losing more in terms of, I mean, this is a beautiful thing because the way we trade, the way I like to trade with risk reward is that I can lose more than I win and still make money.
Yeah.
But if there's a business that's losing a lot of money, they're not making money as a business, in which
Yeah.
case they need to go back and find out what's wrong with their business in the first place. But my biggest challenge with my trading career is that I take on too much. I don't trust anyone else, or not. I don't trust. There's the very few people I trust in my business circle in terms of people I'm trying to build things with, or trying to work with, or have working with me or for me. And whether that's in sort of like the education business, the other business I'm trying to run in the background, I'm always that guy that's trying to take on too much to the point where it does stop me from trading because I won't go to the chart and look for an opportunity in the market, or I wouldn't have said because you can't, you should never go to the chart and look for an opportunity. But I go to the chart and see what it's doing. And if I see something I like, I take it. But I won't do it if my mind isn't in the right frame.
Mm-hmm.
I won't sit there for the London session and think, right, I'm gonna go to trading if I'm stressed. But part of the reason I can't really trade London session in the mornings is because in the morning my house is chaotic. Two kids
Mm.
screaming, I've got two dogs, like it's the school run, all that kind of stuff's going on. So that's my time to try and go to the gym. So when I come back in the afternoon, I think, right, I'm settled.
Mm.
If something else is going on in my head in the background, it's finding room in here to make sure I'm in a good spot and I can just zone out and focus because trading requires so much focus. And that is something that is one of my biggest challenges when it comes to trading is the other stresses I have. It's the lack of trust I have in other people to do things the way I'm trying to run things. And I can't let go of certain things as well. But because of that, I take on way too much. And as a good example of that, what you see on my social media, let's say Instagram, for example, I think it's over 400,000 followers. There is no team of editors behind me. There is no team of strategic people behind me. There is nothing. Every video you've seen up until recently, because I have started getting people to help edit the videos and stuff, but up until literally a few weeks, months ago, every video you see, I edited myself. I posted myself. I've
Oh.
recorded all the content I've created, everything like that. Every single email, whenever someone has joined in one of my email campaigns, whatever it is, every single email that's sent, bear in mind there's been thousands of emails have been written by me. Every single landing page you come onto
Oh my gosh.
is been done by me. Everything out there, every course I've done, every course, everything I've made on the websites, it's all been designed. That's why it's crap because I've done
No,
it
don't say that.
myself. Is I've built everything I've done from the bottom down, and that has meant and as I get all these emails all the time. Oh, we can build this. We can be like. I'm not always interested in that because generally I'm actually a trader, and I've tried to like always tried to think, like, this is going to come second, the social media. I
Mm.
generally do enjoy doing the social media, but what I've managed to do in the meantime, whilst doing all the posting, recording, editing, emails, the websites, the funnels, all this stuff I've done, I've learned how to do it all. I've learned all those skills. But when I do all that and it takes time, it's not that, and I've found time to trade and do that because I've been doing it now. Like I can just set positions and go and crack on with stuff. When it comes to trying to let other people in the business to say, right, let me build that landing page for you, for example, I say, okay, fine, but it's never the way I want it to be. So I end up having to redo it. And then that takes time away from my trade. Or for example, usually I try and block out like a 2 hour gap in the day to look at the charts, or a 1 hour gap in the day to try and look at the charts. And if something's happened in a business or wherever where I get an email, like today, for example, great example, I got 2 speeding tickets
Oh
coming back
no.
from my Manchester event, and I was literally ready to trade. Yeah, I was literally ready to trade, and I got I got emailed, got a letter in a post. Sorry, 2 speeding tickets, one on the way to the Manchester event like I did last Friday, and one on the way back, both on the M6 toll road.
Oh,
So like that, so I had to deal with that, and I had to put in my details and all that. And I was thinking, I've just missed a
human
half an hour of
capital.
trading.
Yeah.
So part of it could come down to organization, part of it could come down to stress, stopping me from actually looking at the charts in the first place. And the other thing is just letting other little things get into it. And like my mindset in trading is really, really good. I am completely fine with losing trades. My strategy is not 80%. I do not believe anyone when they say they got an 80, 85% win rate. I would say,
No, no, no.
show
No.
me that over 3 years. Then you might have it over a month. Of course you do. Might have it over a month, but you will not have it over a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I think generally, and I don't know if your hedge funds would agree with that, 50, 40%, maybe 60% is really good. Like
Less,
that's
less.
top,
Yeah.
top class.
Retail
But
traders I find have a higher win rate than like the hedge funds that I work with. But because their portfolios are so big, it just
mm,
means that like as long as your winners, your R multiple is good,
mm,
your winners will outrun your losers and your losers won't take
100%.
over your winners. So,
Exactly. So then when you see these people that are looking for trades every single day on that 1 minute time frame, and they're saying they're risking £1,000 per trade, and they're looking for a 1 to 5 every time, and they win every day, and that's 20, 30, 40% a week, it's just like, fuck off. It's not true. Like it's just not true. And I know it's not true. And I think anyone that believes it is just wrong.
mm, they
And
might have
I'm
that bracket. Like what can happen sometimes is they have a month of that. And
yeah.
like you said, and it's like, well, show me that consistently.
Yeah, they go quiet in the months of January, December when they're not winning, and they sit there and say, "Oh, I've had a break from trading." It's because you've blown your account. That's why. No, you're just not going to tell anyone. And that's the thing. Like, I'm really good with losing trades because I know it's just a systematic approach to a series of outcomes. I'm very Mark Douglas orientated on that whole thing. And but like little things wind me up. Like for example, like I love golf and football, and though the passionate how passionate I get towards that, and like, I'm a West Ham fan, so I have to support a crap football team, for example,
You don't
and
have
that
to.
well,
You don't have
we,
to.
I'm one of the chosen ones, but and but that literally will ruin a weekend for me.
Yeah.
Like if we play on a Saturday morning and I go to the game and we lose badly, which is a common theme at the moment, I'm in a bad mood for the rest of the weekend, and like that little things like that can generally affect me coming into the market the next day because I'm stressed or upset or moody about it, whatever. Like I could come out of the office and see my kids, and I could have lost £5,000 on the day, and they wouldn't know the difference to if I'd
Mm,
have won 10,000 on the day.
mm.
They wouldn't be able to tell because I understand that there's no reason to celebrate or get upset about either of the outcomes. But my wife will look at the football results when it's out to see if we've won or lost to determine what mood I'm in because she knows that if we've lost, I'm going to be in a really upset mood. And it's the same
Dude,
with the
just
golf.
support Liverpool. Why are you supporting a losing
Oh,
team? Support winners,
no, you can't
okay?
support them. I can't
Support the
stand them.
winners.
But
Obviously, you can't because you support West Ham. Like the fuck?
well, I know it's bad, it's bad. But I'm a chosen one. That's the thing. But at the same time, when we do get them wins, like when we won the trophy a couple of years ago, that we celebrate that harder than any Liverpool fan would celebrate a league because we don't win a lot.
Hmm.
And that's the thing. I celebrate those sort of feelings and things like that. But yeah, trading I don't. But at the same time, it does hold you back from trading sometimes because I have to make sure I'm in a good place before I go and look at and try and see if I can trade, because I see my trading account as a portfolio of investing, and I compound it as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing. People think that trading and investing is the fastest way to wealth. I actually think it's compounding, which makes you get
Mm-hmm.
there faster. Because if you can compound every month on your account, then the interest adds up over time and multiplies and multiplies and multiplies. But it's just prioritizing that to make sure with how stressed you are and things like that. So that's my biggest challenge is stress, which happen in other aspects of my life that have a negative effect on me, even trading. And that's the problem I have as the challenge, as it were.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Like your personal life is leaking into your trading life.
Mm.
I just can't stand how pink I am. I really.
It looks good. It
It
looks
looks
good.
good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Trust me, it
Okay.
looks good. It'll be a
Okay.
hook.
Okay, cool. Because you're like normal colored and I look like an alien. So
No, no, you can edit me to be a different color if you want. That's fine.
I'll try. I'll try my
Pink.
best. um, so it's very normal. And the thing is, I can completely relate to this because although I have 10,000 followers right now and not 400,000, my whole career up until the last month has been just me editing the emails, DM responses, taking care of my community, dealing with hedge funds, dealing with one-to-ones, like everything falls on me and it takes so much time away from trading, which I love. And for me, it's like I need to trade in order for me to stay in a mindset where I can also understand like what other traders are going through. Like so for example, in market mindset, I've just had a bunch of traders come in who are trading YM or US 30 and I don't trade that. So because of that, I'm now paying more attention to that ticker.
Yeah.
So because I want to be able to understand like what they're seeing or if they're dropping an analysis, I just want to just scan over it. I'll never tell them what to do because I never want to be responsible for what someone's doing in their trading. They have to figure it out for their mindset. But if I see something that I'm like, whoa, that's a crazy place to put a stop loss, then I'll probably mention it. Like, have you considered these areas? And I will only know that based on my understanding of its behavior. So
Mm.
it's like what you said at the start as well. Like, there's so many different tickers, but they all have a different personality. Like strategies, you were talking about strategies. Like, there's so many different strategies, but they all work if you let them work long enough. However, people don't let them work long enough. They tweak them, they change them, they adjust them like on the fly as they go month to month, week to week. But the strategies are like tickers where they suit different personality types. So, what might suit someone and they've invested into that might not suit another person. So
Mm.
the same with tickers. Like for me, I like the chaos of NQ. I like that pace. And I'm okay with taking losses. I'm literally like indifferent to them as long as I followed my plan. The only time I will feel hard on myself is if I've broken my rules. Then it does feel like fucking hell. You didn't have to
Mm.
do that. Like, you didn't have to take that loss. But it's a great data point for me to go, why did I do that? What
Mm.
part of me felt like I'm going to feel better if I take this trade, or I'm going to gain something if I take this trade? What made me jump in?
Mm.
And like you can make mistakes, like you can mark your chart wrong and enter incorrectly. Okay, that's a technical mistake. But if I was entering a trade because I simply didn't want to miss the move, because I was scared that it was just going to go from there and wasn't going to come to my ideal entry point, that's an issue for me. Like that's where I have to analyze myself and be like, are you
Mhm.
sure about that? Like
Yeah.
let's look at that. What happened there? And what then again, what you're mentioning in terms of the way that your outside life is leaking into your trading because you're already stressed, I will then look at what has my week been like? What are my stresses? What am I dealing with right now? What is causing me to say I'm feeling stressed out, so my brain and my body is craving dopamine to make me feel better about this situation. So these kinds of things you can analyze, but I do really relate to what you're
Mm.
saying because it was something I just went through and I just overcame.
Mm.
It's this idea of letting go of control and thinking if you let go of control, it's going to come crashing down because no one understands your business and your vision the way you do, right?
Yeah.
But imagine Steve Jobs felt like that.
Mm.
Imagine Elon Musk was like, I'm going to do it myself, right? Love him or hate him. Like, but just imagine, even Trump, like, love him or hate him, imagine Trump was like, I can do it on my own. He wouldn't be president. There's no way.
Mm,
So you have been through experiences which I similarly went through in terms of I've tried to hire editors in the past. I think I'm good. I think they've got it under control. The day of the deadline, they're like, I can't do it. And I'm like, now I'm behind. Fuck. Now I have to do it myself. And or they've given me something and I'm like, what the hell? Like, why can I edit better than you and you're the professional? And I have
yeah.
to go back and give them notes like do this, do that. And I'm like, oh, I just want to give it to someone. But your past experience isn't a reflection of your future experience. Just because you've had that experience with someone doesn't mean that you're not going to have a better experience with someone else
Mm,
in the future. So, similarly, the way there's so many different tickers and strategies, there's so many different people as well.
yeah.
And there are people who you'll probably find them in your community, to be honest, because that's what happened with me. You'll
Oh,
find,
100%. There's few people that I do work with now who directly came from the
yeah,
community, and you know I trust them,
yeah,
and because I know them, you get to know them before they work with you, don't you?
mm-hmm,
And some things are just kind of meant to be in the way they happen, and I fully believe in that you get put in certain situations, and like everything you've done, everywhere you've gone to get to where you are, like leads us like even to where we are right now talking. And yeah, like most people I end up kind of doing something with come from the community that I try and build, whether it be a live event or whether it be a Discord or whatever it is. Like that's one of the best ways I think to meet people, because then you just never know.
how many people are you taking care of in your community right now?
um well, so it really so in terms of the, I've got two communities. One is a university type program, which is a monthly thing. There is probably about 200 that are in there,
Mm-hmm.
running in there. There's a free one as well, which is there, and then there's a one-on-one, which has got about 50 or so, 50, 60 people that are kind of left in that, um, which again takes up a lot of time,
A
because
lot.
like the one-on-one stuff I do, for example, that's not just me that does that. I've got trading coaches again who I met in the community who do a lot of work like in a WhatsApp group, and I look at the phone and then there's 500 odd messages every day. And but this is I love talking to people. I love
Yeah.
meeting people. I love getting to know people. And like for example, I've got two or three of them that came to this event in Manchester on Friday that we did, and now I know them. I'm in tune with them, and I'm paying for in the one-on-one stuff I do. I'm paying for them to come out in Dubai in the November. They're going to fly themselves there and stay there, but I'm going to pay for the 2 day activities doing it. It's almost like a community holiday,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm paying for the whole thing for them. And there's like 30 of us going, so it's not just a thing where I don't know who people are. Like I'm actually building relationships with these people,
Yeah.
and going to create an amazing memory in Dubai where we're and it's not going to be, oh, come here, we're going to learn about trading. It's, oh no, come here, we're going to fucking drink. Like we're like, don't get me wrong, there will be one or two things just in terms of how we kind of do things. Like in the day, we'll meet in the day and we'll do like some workshops and that, but it won't take long. Like the events I do in Manchester, I'm doing in London, I've done in Dubai, New York so far. That's been like a day's worth of stuff, and then we have a drink and go for dinners and stuff after. And I love that bit. But this Dubai event is all about getting them to come out of their comfort zone, fly. There's a lot of them from England, from America, from different places in Europe. They're all
Nice.
flying into Dubai for this. And it's like 30 of us that are going, and we invited more, but not everyone's coming. I'm going to do this every year.
Yeah.
So, and it gives them, like people have said to me, why are you paying all that for these people? Because they've supported my mission. I'm giving back to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's as simple as that. And there are people there who I'm fascinated by that I get to meet. For example, I did an event in Munich a few weeks ago, and there was a woman there, and she was saying how she's struggling with the technical side of trading, and we was doing all the stuff. My trading entry is something called optimal trade entry, OTE levels off of structure, basically. But I was showing her this, and she then proceeded to tell me that she speaks five languages.
Oh, wow.
She was a German woman. She speaks five languages, one of them being Mandarin.
Oh my
So I'm saying
gosh.
to this woman, you are the most intelligent woman I think I've ever met in my life.
Wow.
and what you're struggling with is certain thing on the trading which we can fix in a few seconds, and she understands it, and it's the emotional thing. But I said, if you can go out there and learn these languages, particularly Mandarin, one of the most fascinating languages in the world, you can do just about anything you want. And took her back to think, oh, really? So I get to meet these people and talk to these people face to face. That's what I love about doing these events. It's
Mm,
what I love about connecting with people like yourself and everyone. And that's it's just because you never know who you're going to meet is going to be able to teach you something. And you should always be a sponge
yeah.
to any type of knowledge or any type of experience that you can. Because yes, I'm the trading guy that's going to go out there, but they're not coming there to learn just about trading. They're coming there to learn about each other as well. And the community is all well and good being on a laptop, being on but behind a screen. But when you get people in front of people,
It's
like
different.
there's something very magical about it because there's not a lot of trade. Not many people have been in a room with 100 traders.
Yeah.
So if I can create that,
That's
then
so
that's
cool.
that's really good. That's what I like doing.
I actually haven't done an in-person event before, but you've inspired me to
You come to London,
get something
honestly.
going. What date
Come
is
to
it?
London, 5th of December. It's at the London Stadium.
Okay, I'll check my
Yeah, I mean it's not
5th
far
of
from you.
5th
You're
of
south, aren't you?
December.
Yeah, yeah. It's on a Friday.
I think that should be fine.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to come. You can have a VIP seat.
Hey. All right. Um, if you send me the link and then I can just put it into my calendar, but that should be
Yeah,
fine unless I'm traveling somewhere.
yeah, that's
Um,
fine.
that would be really fun. Yeah, I've because like the content side of things has been it feels like I'm a baby in the industry, but I've been doing this for so long.
Mm.
So there was like the London Trader Expo recently or something like that, and I just it's never really been my thing to go to these types of events, but I when hearing you say like that this is what the in-person event feels like, and that makes a lot of sense to me. So I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, like even with market mindset with my community, it would be really nice to get the London traders together and like go for a meal, and I just have never done that with them. So,
We honestly, especially the one in New York, I had people flying from all over the place. I'd get people flying from Europe, like even in Dubai, where people flying from Saudi and people flying from everywhere. So you'll find if you do something and you put it on, and you've got people that are maybe in Europe or somewhere, you will be so amazed at how far people will go to
that would be
learn
so
and
much
speak to you.
fun.
And
Yeah.
honestly, it's one of the nice. Why I have a drink with them after, because like, the least I can do is buy them a drink after for them coming. Like we've got people coming down from all sorts of places in the world.
Yeah.
Like I say, like 30 people are coming out to Dubai for something I'm organising with these people, and like we've got this proper group chat going, and that's the real community.
Yeah.
Like that's what it's about building, and it's a
Yeah.
lifetime thing. You build connections with people for life, and you meet people, and then that's how you end up working with people and connecting and building other businesses with and things like that. So if you can help 100 people, you're gonna get a load of them come back and try and help you after.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's why I like doing it.
Yeah, that's it's such a beautiful mission. You've obviously got a big heart as well in this industry to want to help
I like to
people.
think, yeah, I like to
You
think so.
do. Yeah.
I'm not like, yeah,
You
I'm not
do
just,
because I get it and I have a big
yeah,
heart. No, I'm joking.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
joking.
Like, I did a speak with someone the other day, and they said, oh, like, what's your sort of like, favorite thing to flex? I was like, I've never been on a private jet, never done any of that. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't sit at the back of planes anymore, but I've never done it. I've never got like the orange Lamborghini or anything like that. I am as normal as they come. My passion in it is to be able to have the ability to do the school run, take my kids to
Mm,
school, walk them there.
you want that freedom.
Yeah, like that's me. I'm a big skier. I just like doing normal family man friend stuff. I love going out with my friends. I don't really like the advice I get from quote unquote entrepreneurs when they say ditch your poor friends, and it's like they're not poor friends, they're just my friends.
Hmm.
They don't have
Different
to do the same
journeys.
thing you're
Yeah.
doing. Yeah, like they're not interested in the same stuff I do, but the friends I've had since school, I'm not going to turn around and do anything or try and push myself to different levels. It's like I can do that on my own.
As
And I don't.
long as they don't hinder your growth.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So
but
there's a,
that's when you realize if you've got a good friend or a bad
yeah,
friend, isn't it?
yeah, yeah.
Because yeah, you do, and there are people, acquaintances who do their very best to do that. And what I actually, and that used to be something that used to challenge me actually 100%, because I didn't tell anyone I was doing for a long, long
Mm.
time, because I knew what it would be like, and I knew what people would say. But what's really funny now is that when they see, especially with like social media and all that, and they purposely won't follow you, but you'll know because you'll see on the stories if they viewed your page. But what I love is that if I've got like what I find particularly funny is if I've got like a meta ad
Oh
going out
man.
or something,
Yeah.
like an advert, obviously the algorithm's trained to push towards engaged customers or whatever. And if someone views my post, goes types in my name and has a look, who hates me, who really doesn't like me for whatever reason I'm doing it for, I know that the algorithm's going to send more stuff their way anyway. So all they're going to do is see my stuff in their For You page. It's like, well,
See
you can
more of
choose to
me.
be rattled if you want, but
Yeah.
like I said, I generally I see myself as one of the good ones in the industry, trying to just do right. Um, and part of my passion has always been teaching as well. Like
Hmm.
I was wanting to be a PE teacher when I left school. I went into sports coaching. I was a personal trainer for a long time. Everything I've always done has involved like working with people. So like I generally enjoy it. It is good.
Okay. So that kind of gives me an idea as well as to the importance that sport has in your life and
Mhm.
probably why you're so affected by such a terrible team losing when you know they're going to lose. No, I'm joking, sorry.
Yeah.
But it gives you an idea of why you are actually so affected and why you feel so stressed out. Is there anything else that gets you that stressed out or gets you that down and rattled?
No, general day to day stresses. Honestly, like anything can stress you out if you let it. And I have that sort of, it's a trust issue when it comes to like, letting go of other things, not even just in business, just anything out there,
Mm.
and it's very easy to get distracted and pull yourself away, and you lose, if you do lose that motivation to go and do something you need to do, and then it's on your mind and you lose sleep over it, and the next day you're groggy, so it's hard to then trade and get up for it and things like that. So stress for me is the biggest factor, I think.
So there's a few things that we're going to be able to do moving forward. Obviously it's a process. So I wish I could be like, we're going to do 2 sessions and you're going to
Mm.
be healed. But we can start putting the mechanisms into place so you can overcome this. So for me, just on a surface level thing, like for me, it was I have to have the experience so many times of cycling through editors that are failing me in order to find someone that can help me. I still haven't found an editor that I can trust and rely on, but I have found people in my community that support me, and that takes weight off of me because my my mental capital is so important and your mental capital is so important. Actually taking that time for yourself to step back is pouring into your community. Because if you're not taking that time for yourself, you're not recharging, and therefore you can't be at peak performance for them. So for me, the turning point was, oh, it's actually a disservice to my clients or my members if I'm always pushing. If I'm always available, it is actually a disservice to them because I can't give as much. Whereas if I've recharged, if I've taken that time for myself, then I'm going to come back ready to go. Like when they've got something, I'm like, here's your fucking answer. This is what you need to
Mm.
do. But if I'm
Yeah.
burnt out and I'm tired, then I'm actually being selfish. Like it was a really interesting lesson I had to learn because you think giving is the selfless thing to do. But giving is selfless until it starts taking away from you, and then it becomes selfish against yourself and against them. So we can split this into 2 modes, which is maker and manager. So there's maker tasks, which is the things that you do, which is like the content creation side of things, the editing side of things. Then there's manager mode, which is the business side of things, dealing with your expenses, for example, dealing with your members. That's kind of manager work. So which everyone's different, by the way. Which do you thrive in most, maker work or manager work?
What in terms of what, in terms of which out
What
of
feels like what feels most like Tom
managing, like in terms of,
managing?
yeah, yeah. Oh, well, No, I'm a doer as well. I like to get in there and do it,
No, of
which
course
is
you do. But what I'm doing right now with you is I'm figuring out which tasks could we actually hand off, and then we'll deal with
mm.
West Ham stress. But first,
No, yeah, no, I see what you mean. Yeah, it's. Do you know what? It's like for example, one of my things I really want to do in 2026 is open a gym.
Mhm.
I think I could run a good gym, and I look at, for me, it's all about like understanding like the perfect location for this gym, for example, and I'll spend 5 years before I actually find a perfect location for it and open it. And I always think it has to be the perfect um, finished thing rather than let's just open a gym and get people in, then reinvest and get people to do it. I have to be there on day one, day two, day three. I can't sit there and say, right, can you, whoever's going to do it with me, can you just do this and I'll come back in a couple of weeks to see how it's going?
Yeah,
When there's nothing really for me to do there, I'm
yeah,
just hovering at this point,
yeah,
if that makes sense.
yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
even when they're installed in gym equipment, I'm watching them do it. I'm like, why am I sitting there? Like, I know
But
what they're
why
doing
are
today
you?
because I'm a control freak. Generally,
Why?
like that's
But
why.
why?
I think I don't know. I think it's a trust. I think it goes back down to trust. Generally, I've always been like that. I always want to be controlling a situation. Like generally, I think the thing is like in work terms, especially, it's some things have happened where I've trusted someone to do something and come back and it's not been the way I wanted it to be, and it's had a negative effect on a business or on a venture, whatever it is I've done, and I've had to spend countless hours doing it, and that's happened a lot of times to the point where I just think, oh, I'll just do it myself because no one is as passionate as I am about me. Like if I'm setting a business up, if I'm setting a gym up, I usually do it on my own. And if I'm setting up that gym, no one is going to be as passionate about it as me
Mm,
because it's my business, it's my venture, it's my opportunity. And if I pay someone to do something, they're not going to do it in the passion I would do it because they're doing it to be paid to do it. If it's infrastructure, if it's anything, design, whatever, I sit there and think, oh, I want to design it. I look at the curved walls and think, oh, I don't want it to be curved. I want it to be straight or small little things. I always think of like the tiniest details in my head, like if there's something I think it could be a hazard, or if there's the smallest little thing when I go to a gym now and I think, oh, I'd probably just change that. And someone would say to me, no, but that would cost a lot of money to change it. And I'm like, to the point where your business isn't going to make any money if you do it right now. So just open it, get people in. It's like, no, it's got to be perfect before they come in. So it just revolves around this massive thing where it's like, oh, I don't know, maybe I just won't. I'll just do it on my own. So it's
yeah.
hard. Yeah, it comes down to trust. And in terms of why I'm like that, I think it's you get burnt a few times and you think, I'll just do it myself. But then, like I say, I'm now in my life, there are people I do really, really trust and who I am working with to help with business and things like that as well. So it is getting there.
We have some challenges for you, but fun ones.
Yeah, yeah.
So, going back to what I said, like your previous experience is not your final experience. So it is important for you to build up evidence that you can trust other people, and maybe I would say to start that with the smallest thing that you can do. So for example, even just hiring an editor that is going to edit one short a week for you, right?
Mm,
Because it's not going to change the trajectory of your business, but it could change the trajectory of your mindset in the sense that you start to see not everyone is unreliable. And the other thing is, like, obviously you don't pay them until it's done, right? So say you're
mm,
using something like Upwork or Fiverr, you don't actually pay them until it's done to your standard. So they do then have a desire to make it to your standard, right? So while no one will be as passionate about your business than you, and why should they be? Like, that, it makes sense, right? So when we think about it logically, like, obviously it makes sense. Why would someone be more passionate about my business than I am? It's my business. That's
mm,
why it's yours. So you don't have to have someone that's more passionate about your business. That's not an expectation you have to maintain for someone to work with you. What you do need is someone who is skilled in what you need them to execute on. So now your challenge is going to be, over the next week, I want you to find just one editor that's going to edit one short reel for you, just so you can build up some sort of experience to say, like, okay, there's someone here that is willing to put in the work and willing to take some pressure off of me.
Mm.
right? That's just something on a small level. We'll build this up. The other thing I want you to do is I want you to write down in 2 columns your maker tasks and your manager tasks. So the maker tasks are the creative things, the things that fuel that creative side of you. That might be editing, that might be filming content, that might be running webinars, right? It could be. It doesn't mean that manager is like that line of my members. Members can also be I'm creating a webinar or I'm running a presentation. That's a maker task. Manager tasks are like I'm dealing with my expenses, I'm dealing with my cash flow, I'm dealing with my employees or whatever it might be. That's manager tasks. So let's split these columns so we have a good idea of what the tasks actually are in your week. Because when we have a good idea of what your tasks are, we can build up a really nice productivity system for you, which helps to make sure that you're not getting to this state of feeling tired and feeling burnt out, and it's not taking away from your trading because
Mm.
you know, like, it should be like every day 2:30 to, let's say, 2:30 till 4, that's my trading time.
Mm.
Market open 1.5 hours, that's my trading time. And you don't feel burnt out at that point because everything already kind of has its sections, right? And so we'll come up with a really solid plan for you there. In terms of the stress side of things, we'll go into that more in the next session because that's like a deeper dive. I've got more
There'll be a lot
questions.
more stress next week, so that's fine.
There were
I'm joking.
Husa.
Yeah.
No, there'll be less stress. Um, and then in terms of the control thing, I want you to start to think about some of the experiences that you've had in your life where you have let go of control and try to find your first one, right? I would just want you to start thinking about this over the next week because what will happen is you might have a hard time remembering certain things right now. You're gonna go away, and in 3 days' time, a memory is gonna randomly pop up in your head as like a download, and you're gonna be like, oh my God, I forgot about that. I remember when that person screwed me over. And it's like, it's a snowball effect because what
Mhm.
happens is you get hurt, then your brain is wired for survival, it's wired to protect you. So because you're getting hurt, your brain is now, every time that experience is kind of coming up, your brain is on high alert of I need to protect you. So anything that looks like that event that hurt you, its evidence is going like red flag, don't go down that route. And because it's doing that, it's going to prevent you from growing because you're taking on things that you shouldn't have to be doing. If you want perfect, you'll never be great.
Mm.
That's the fact. Like, there is nothing in life that's perfect, right? The iPhone 17 just came out. It's fucking people getting scratches all over it, people complaining about the fact it's not perfect, but look at Apple,
Yeah.
right? Imagine they were like, we have to wait for the perfect product. People that grow, you don't wait for perfection to be great. You just have to be great and it will become perfect. So
Mm.
you just have to begin. So the smallest step that you can take towards that is important. And then there's other things that we have to work on. I was going to say you, but I'm here now. So there's other things we have to work on. So we'll get to the root causes of this and we'll rewire your mindset as well, which is like, if you want to launch your own gym, well, then let's fucking make sure that you launch that gym. Let's not waste
Mm.
any more time because time is the most precious commodity, right? You can't get that back. And it's the currency that no one knows how much they have available to them. So
Mm.
we want to make sure we're taking steps towards this as soon as possible so that we can figure out, like the story at the start, let's make the wrong turn so we can make the right ones. But we
Mm.
have to begin. To begin. Otherwise, you never know, right?
Mm.
So with things like if you want a straight corner in the gym but or you want it curved and they've made it straight, is that really going to affect the success of your, is that really going to affect someone's workout,
No.
right? So it's like these little things that your brain is doing to protect you almost, because it's almost like methods of self-sabotage. I don't
Mm.
want you to start, let me pull out this thing, what is this, what is this, what is this. And also running your own gym is an unknown thing. It's uncertain. You don't know if it's going to be successful. You don't
Mm.
know if it, how much stress it's going to cause you. Your brain might even be like, look, there's going to have so much more responsibility, I'm dealing with all of this. So it's trying to stop you from doing it by keeping you stuck, by throwing out these self-sabotaging thoughts, by throwing out these fears so you don't even start, and it keeps you
Mhm.
stuck. Well, you don't have to deal with that. We get you over that. So
Yeah. Okay.
now the next week I want you to have a think about like where the fear responses are coming from, some of the experiences that you may have had, and then split the column into maker and manager so we can make sure that you're being the most productive. and then we'll
Mhm.
talk about West Ham as well next
I
week.
can't. Yeah. Well, we would have played by the time I see you next as
There we
well.
go. Hopefully
So
you won.
yeah, that's probably fine. No, that's fine. Good.
Yeah. So that's going to bring us to the end of our session. And I'm actually very excited for this journey because, like I said, this is part of trading, and like
Mm.
people might watch this and be they hardly talked about trading. This is part of trading. The life
Yeah.
that you live directly influences your behavior on the chart.
Mhm.
Like you're not able to trade the way you want to because of what's going on in your life. And like I said,
Yeah.
a lot of my sessions run like this where we're not even talking about trading. It's actually
Yeah.
about let's get your life in check so then you are
Mm.
organized on the charts and you are ready to execute. Um,
100%. I completely agree.
but yeah, so that's the end of our session.
Amazing.
So
Thank you. Thank you for having me on this as well. It's been really good. I
you're
look
very
forward to the next
welcome.
one.
Yeah, and I'll see you next week.
Amazing. Thank you.